How fucked are we as a nation when a former Navy SEAL is agreeing with a woman saying her sons will never serve in the military because it is no longer an honor? When she says we are in an occupied country, us, as in the United States, and he agrees. He says, I'm done going overseas. Call me when we're getting invaded. When this Navy SEAL still has contacts and connections in special forces and they say they don't want to deploy. People who've trained years for combat don't want to deploy because they know they aren't fighting for the US anymore. I'll be upfront. I've had my reservations about Sean Ryan. I've watched a lot of his interviews, and from the first couple episodes interviewing service members, just, badass dudes talking about the cool shit they've done and experienced, and going further into conspiracies and all the receipts of wide-scale corruption or crime or everything just being fake and gay and proof of it, and then nothing ever happens. And I kind of fell off a bit. Because after so many grand claims from people on the show, nothing happened. Nothing ever came of it. So I was like, well, is any of it real? Is he just bullshitting? Are they bullshitting him? Are we buying any of this shit? And now I see further. Nothing came of it because nothing ever comes of anything. Butler, Pennsylvania, assassination attempt. So many inconsistencies, nothing came of it. The Charlie Kirk assassination. More inconsistencies, nothing came of it. Israel's hand in our government, nothing comes of it. The Massey election being blatantly bought by AIPAC, nothing came of it. The list goes on. The Vegas country concert shooting, the Panama Papers, the Epstein files, all of Israel's war crimes, our representatives going and kissing that stupid fucking wall, 9/11, JFK, USS Liberty, the fucking rape gang inquiry, Trump literally saying he doesn't give a single fuck about the common man when making his decisions for this country. Nothing ever comes from anything. But what can we do? What should we do? What can be done that won't put you on a list that'll have agencies watching you like a hawk or barring you from employment for life, limiting your ability to survive? And we all know how hard that shit is already. What can we do when we're just trying to survive? We're at a point where we need a huge reset. Everything must be redone, starting from the bottom, small town level, straight to the top. Even businesses, no more lobbying, no more H-1Bs, no more planned obsolescence, no more fucking over the average American. Just to be clear, I know this sounds bleak as fuck. Like there's nothing to be done. And to be fair, it's not going to be easy. It is bleak. It may not work. But that doesn't mean we just roll over and die. We must accept that shit is beyond fucked. And we must also accept that we can start planting the seeds, laying the groundwork for reform, coming together to oust the plague that is hurting all of us. Whether you know it or not, you're being affected. You could be well off. You're still being negatively affected. You're getting taxed out the ass, just like all of us. And where do the taxes go? Straight to the class of people who view us as nothing more than supplemental income. People to rule over. If they even see us as people at all, most probably just see us as goy. Globally, this isn't just an American thing, to be clear. World leaders don't give a single shit about the average person. Case in point, the UK told civilian ships to take the Omani route through the Strait of Hormuz, knowing full well Iran has been adamant that the Larak Island route is the only viable and accepted route at the moment. UK told civilian ships use the Omani route while they mourn the Ayatollah. And what happened? Ships are on fire now in the strait. Sailors have been injured because of this, and now the memorandum of understanding is over. The ceasefire is over. Trump's talking about invading Karg Island again. We are but expendable pawns to the ruling class globally. New York has passed legislation allowing medically assisted suicide. We're at a point in our country where instead of trying to help people who feel helpless, we tell them, yeah, no, it's okay. You can kill yourself and we'll help you do it. Now, I understand that I, as a non-religious person, as an atheist, might have some differing morals occasionally. One of those being eugenics may not be that terrible of a thing. So I understand the aspect of perhaps limiting life. However, when it comes to ending an existing life, you're already here. You should make the most of it. If anything, my lack of faith makes me view life as much more sacred than some. I'm not saying that people who are religious don't appreciate life, I'm sure, but they all have a concept of an afterlife, something waiting for them afterward. I'm speaking more on the aspect of not that I know, but I believe there is nothing waiting for me on the other side. There's nothing to look forward to. Except maybe finding out what happens, the ever-thirsting quest for knowledge and finding answers, finding the why for everything, what comes after. I don't know, but I'll find out when I get there. And there's only one way to get there, but I'm not eager to get there. Without getting too deep into the weeds of my philosophy, but tangenting just a little bit, I believe it's something akin to when you go under anesthesia. Granted, I don't have much experience under anesthesia, but I was put under once to get a wisdom tooth removed. I believe it's a similar process where you just kind of fade to black and then all of a sudden you're out and then you wake up again, except without the waking up again part. You just kind of cease to exist. And some might find that bleak, but I'd argue it makes the moment, the now, that much more important. Going back to New York and everywhere else that you see is legal to medically kill yourself, it's part of a grander picture. Because if you look at it, every Abrahamic religion, most Abrahamic religions, except maybe Islam, but it's different if you do it in the name of Islam for 72 virgins, but I digress. Most religions are very, very against suicide. And yet all of these white countries are now endorsing it as a medical treatment. Canada, New York, a lot of Europe. If you can't see that this is by design, as spoken by Keir Starmer in regards to the influx of non-white immigrants from third world countries, it's by design. It's to reduce the population of white people. And if you can't see that by now, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, your problem-solving abilities, your critical thinking skills probably aren't the best. Because it is plain as day. It's obvious in every regard. It's all by design. By whose design? Well, we know exactly whose design because they straight up tell you. They always tell you what they're going to do before they do it. Who cares if there's less white people in the world? Who cares if white people go extinct? But you apply that to any other race, any other ethnicity, and what happens then? You're labeled as racist. Oh, that's one of the worst things you can say. You're genocidal. How can you even think of wiping out an entire race? That's monstrous. What are you, Hitler? But apply it to white people and it's fine. It's encouraged even. And unfortunately, it's working when you think about it. White people are some of the most divided culturally. Sure, there's other people of the world who are also divided. It's not inherent to white people. But other places aren't the United States. And I feel that the United States is in a very unique position. The United States can touch anywhere in the world at any point, and if it wanted to. If we had a strong patriotic nation with everyone holding the same ideals and values, if we had unity, the United States would be able to accomplish so much. So many things, for better or for worse. Global domination. Is that a bad thing? Maybe. I don't know. Possibly. But it'd be possible. Just because you can doesn't mean you should, right? But, we could. But we are so divided right now. We cannot power project in that way. And it's evident when you look at what happened in Iran. It was a total loss. A complete loss. It's sparking up again, by the way, as I called in my earlier video. The ceasefire is over. Trump says we're going to take Carg Island again. Whatever. The fuck, this is not an Iran video. If we were united under a cause, there's so much we could do. But we are divided. We are more divided than ever. Even the military itself raised the enlistment age because people don't want to serve. Because they know who's really in control. They know whose interests they are serving. And it's not American interests. It's definitely not American interests. And it's becoming more and more evident every day. As I said, we are divided culturally. So deeply that we are killing each other and ourselves in some ways. While also vastly reducing our own population. And I know previously I was speaking about white people in a them kind of perspective. And now I'm speaking in an our kind of perspective, it's interesting because that switch was all subconscious. Probably because I shifted from talking about white people to talking about Americans. Now, sometimes I'm on the fence about whether or not I consider myself white. I mean, ethnically, I do. Before, they didn't used to have the little box when you're filling out paperwork that said Hispanic or Latino. So I was like, I guess I'm white. And that's kind of where it ended. Now, I feel like it's a recent thing. You see it all the time. Now it has Hispanic or Latino. Whatever, sure, check that box because, But what is Hispanic or Latino? It comes from the natives of Mexico, the natives of South Central America, the natives of what wasn't America at the time, but now is, like Texas, Arizona, and everything that came with the Louisiana Purchase, everything that came with the Mexican-American War. But the people, they are mestizos. The mestizos came from the mixing of Spanish conquerors and the native people. And where do the Spanish come from? Well, they come from Spain. Where is Spain? In Europe. White European. Now, where we are, there are more or less sort of a hodgepodge of different ethnicities at this point down the line. I'd say white, but first and foremost, I'd say I'm American because I want nothing more than the betterment of America. Because a strong country breeds strong people, and a strong and prosperous nation leads to prosperity for its people. And isn't that what we all want? We all want to prosper. We all want to do well, but again, we are divided. They've divided us from the beginning. They indoctrinate your children to be against basic core beliefs, basic biological beliefs. And I say biological because it is completely normal, in fact, a biological trait to want to be around people of your own kind. It's not racism. Racism's fake and gay. It's a made-up word. It's not real. It's a biological preference because you can trust to be around people who are like you, and that's just natural. It's been ingrained in us since early human tribes because obviously some tribes got along and others killed each other. But now they've brainwashed people so much that they hate their own kind for the only reason of because they are white. Oh, we did horrible things as white people. Oh, we enslaved people. We did this. We did that. No, you didn't. You didn't do jack shit. You still haven't done jack shit. You're here hating yourself to the detriment of your people. For what reason? Every race has committed atrocities. Every race, every group of people has kept slaves, has committed war crimes, has fought over stupid reasons. It's not just white people. There's no reason to hate your own people for actions that you had nothing to do with and things that every person, every ethnicity on Earth has perpetuated. It's just the history of mankind, and it's just normal. And there's nothing you can do to change it. No amount of self-hate, self-guilt, or performative repentance will make up for that. There's no reason you have to make up for that. And if we look at what's going on in Europe, all the migrants coming from third world countries, all these laws being passed to help facilitate their stay, government entities need a never-ending serf class, but have too many white people and they get together and organize, and things get kind of spicy. Too little white people, well, now they don't create enough slaves for the workforce, so you got to import more. And at this point, fuck it, replace the white people because this new class of people work for less and can't organize because they're busy still fighting 100-year-old clan wars. Look at this past weekend in Minneapolis, 4 separate shootings all connected to ongoing clan feud between Somali clans. Yeah, they're totally integrating into our society well, aren't they? Complete assimilation. Give me a fucking break. Speaking of assimilation, you know who assimilates really well into Western culture? Muslims. I mean, they totally don't have an entire goal of just spreading Islam and conquering every land they can, right?
Takbir! Allahu Akbar! Oh no! Fuck you! This is the Islamic Republic of New Yorkistan. Islam will be in every household. Inshallah, the whole world is Muslim. Welcome to Mamdani's New York. You see this city? You see how it looks? Inshallah, your city looks just like this too.
Oh. Right. How could we never see this coming? It's not like it's ever happened before. Led to multiple generational wars and conflicts totally out of left field. I'm just tired, man. So much shit is going on. No time to deep dive all of it. The economy is ass, despite what the retarded boomers say. The job market is shit, despite what a retarded government says. It's also tiring, and quite frankly, I don't have many solutions. I have one, but we're not allowed to talk about that one yet. So I'll end this with my favorite part of the Declaration of Independence. Ever since I can remember, like 3rd grade, every time a new school year started, I'd open up my Mossad-issued McGraw-Hill history book and flip to the end, where they have the Declaration and the Constitution, and I would read this section of the Declaration. Don't ask why. I was young and retarded, probably autistic, but this particular section always stuck with me, and it reads, "We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their powers from the consent of the governed. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive to these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute a new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness." And this brings me to one final point. Just a personal gripe. There is this sentiment for a while on some of the more political people I watch or follow on X, where they say basically, as a man, you shouldn't be happy. Happiness to a man is not important. To a degree, I can understand this. As a man, very few people give a fuck about your happiness. You are a provider, a protector, and that is first and foremost. Happiness is for the women and children that you provide and protect. I understand the sentiment, but the wording is utter dog shit. Because if you are able to be a provider and a protector to the best of your ability, and you bring your family happiness, that should be what brings you happiness. So to say you shouldn't be happy as a man is bullshit. Because you should be. You should chase happiness in whatever regard you hold it to. It fucking states it right there in the Declaration. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And I don't know about all of you, but it damn feels like the government has become destructive to these ends. We don't have a lot of time left before altering it is no longer viable. Personally, I don't believe altering is enough at this point. But what do I know? I'm just some random on the internet. Until next time, follow me on X at yokaiyuki_en. We'll see what happens in this silly little goy world of ours. Thank you for listening, and I'll try to upload more frequently. Hopefully, if I can find the time. Bye.